Hello and welcome to the Onyx Path Twitch. Oh, I am not lit. There we go. I am the Awkward GM Corbin. I am hoping that you hear me now. Can I get a little bit of a thumbs up from the crowd? All good. Yep, and I can hear myself. We're all good. Today we are going to be covering Exalted Essence character creation. Originally, I had given a spiel in the last time I did an Exalted Essence beginner's guide, which was a few weeks ago, about how I always tried to get into Exalted, but never could because either the games fell apart or the people who were planning them just didn't have enough space in their group. And I said, oh, I'm going to make a character for the first time in a long time that actually can use, that I can actually use in a game. And that actually fell apart. So I'm making a character who I cannot use in a game, but that's all good. Don't worry about me in that regard. I will eventually find a game to play with Exalted Essence. But at this moment, we shall get this party going, and I am just adjusting a few things on my end in the background, and I hope you're all doing having a wonderful Labor Day if you're in the US. I know we have an international audience, so not always the case. If you're looking at the Exalted Essence character creation, or character sheet rather, you'll notice that the attributes are a little bit truncated from what you're probably used to. You have Finesse, Force, and Fortitude instead of the 9 attributes. I don't think that'll be much of an issue. I did get a little bit of flack from some people saying that when I said that this is a simplified version of Exalted, it's actually not that simplified. It is still relatively complex. It's the equivalent of saying I am going to be building my own modern car itself, or making rebuilding an antique car from scratch versus getting it from a kit. You still have a lot of skills that you need to know in order to get this character off the ground. Now, if we move over here to the Exalted Essence character sheet, rulebook. Double checking that everything's fine on my end. Everything does look fine on my end. I'm going to go all the way down to character creation. I'm going to check to see if there is a quick character creation set of rules in here. Quick. Quickening. Quicksilver, quickly, nope. So we are going to make our own character. I don't know what Exalted type I want to do. I'll probably do a Solar Exalted just because I feel like that is that's a very popular one to do. If anyone has any preferences, please let me know. I am just sort of going to be making your average fighter, warrior type character. That being said, Exalted, you're essentially playing demigods, so it's not exactly your standard fighter from a fantasy game, but I did have an Exalted character I liked that was a monk type character, or a sort of like vagabond, so I might remake that. Some sort of martial artist, that sort of thing. Welcome all as I start this. So before you start working on character, coordinate with your group, storyteller, and fellow players alike on the theme, tone, and mood of the campaign. This is a brainstorming session. Okay, I don't have a player. I don't have a friend who's going to be doing this for me, so I'll just move down to character concept. Check with your storyteller if your concept works. Also check with your fellow players to tie in your backgrounds if you wish. Have some great hooks to tie your characters together. Introvert, or you discover you have 4 introverts with a penchant for sorcery in a group and decide that's a bit too much. I don't know, everyone loves an all rogue party or an all wizard party. I think a lot of people, because of the way that Exalted was set up initially, it was basically, sorry if I tapped the mic there. Before, all the Exalted books came out separate, so if you would have a Solar Exalt book, and then you'd have a Lunar Exalt book. And now in this one, you can choose whichever ones you want. So you can have a Solar Exalt and a Lunar Exalt right from the get-go and not have to wait for another product to come out. I'm not sure how that works mechanically in the game. I did do an overview of the system last time. You can actually catch that up on YouTube if you wish. But for character creation, you pick an Exalt type as your concept, and if applicable, cast or an aspect. Different types of Exalts can do work together, but the storyteller may choose to run a game for only one type. They might decide this is a creation-focused game, so no Abyssal Exalted allowed. Similarly, check with your fellow players. Perhaps their Solar has a Dragonblood childhood friend and wants to establish that relationship between your characters. So, there is something about starting at higher essence. To do so, follow the steps here, but use the adjusted numbers under advancement templates on 108. The number of charms listed in these templates does not include the free Ox body technique or excellency for increasing essence. So if we go to 108. Okay, so it does have like, these are sort of templates for if you decide to up your starting essence. Example, at Essence 2, you start with 7 motes. Attributes, assign 1 5 and 2 3s. Ability, assign 2 5s, 1 4, 5 3s, and 1 1. And then you get 9 charms, and then you can pick your primary, secondary, and tertiary merits. Oh, pick a primary, secondary, and then 2 tertiary merits. And if you get up to the top here, it's like you're getting 2 primary, 2 secondary merits, 1 tertiary. Okay, so you get a lot of stuff. You get 20 charms at that crazy high level. Oh, is this the quick character creation? I have an issue here. This should be called quick character creation. Okay, so we have our concept. We're gonna have our concept down. I'm going to choose a Solar Exalt type, so I'm gonna put down here. My name for my character is going to be. Let's go with Vagabond for now. Solar Exalt. Don't know about the cast. Don't know about the Great Curse yet, so we'll skip those for the moment. I get an because I'm a Solar Exalt, I do get a any advantage granted by your Solar Exalt type. So let's just look at the advantages of being a Solar Exalt. First, among equals, Solar Exalt always wins and ties on opposed rolls, even if there's no clear defender. Always wins ties against storyteller characters. A contest between 2 players should be resolved out of character, treating the winning result as 0 successes where results would require them. Solars don't pay the mote cost to activate excellencies, and Solars are resonant with all magical materials, especially Orichalcum. So these are my advantages. I'm guessing I get all of these advantages. Character creation. Exalted. Make note of the 3 advantages your Exalt has. Okay, so I do get those for being a Solar Exalt. First among equals. And I'll just copy and paste these into the character sheet so I don't forget. Are these? Don't know where I shall put them. I guess for the moment I'm just going to put them in the charms list because I know I'm not going to have a million charms at the moment. Normally, if I were to do this for a game, I would make myself a quick reference sheet for these advantages, as these will help me later on. It will help me later on when I need to figure out what I actually need to do. Character creation. Abilities. Oh, attributes. Distribute 4, 3, and 2 among the force and finesse. Force, finesse, and fortitude. So 4, 3, and 2 dots. I'm double checking that they all start at 1. And attributes. Your character each explains the attributes in a nutshell. Take a picture of your character. A rating of 5 is the pinnacle of human achievement, 2 is the average for a mortal, and 1 is just not very good. Exalted are exceptional, so they start with 1, 2. Okay, so it looks like they don't start at 1, so I do start with 4, 3, 2. So I would like to think that I am more of a nimble fighter, so I'm going to go with 4. And then force, I'm going to give 2, and then I'll give myself 3 in fortitude. That's pretty simple. That's pretty quick. If I scroll down to the character creation process. Okay, character creation process. There we go. So we did the attributes, now we do abilities. Assign 1, 5, 1, 4, 3 3s, 2 2s, and 1 1. Okay, so 1 5 and 1 4. So for 5, I am going to do close combat. For my 1 4, I think I'm going to do awareness, and I may adjust these later on, because what I found with a lot of these games is they will put requirements for which types of gifts or abilities you can take, and in this case gifts, based on how much you put into that skill, essentially. In this case, abilities. I'll put 3 into stealth because I am stealthy. I will put 3 into presence because I'm a little charmer, and I will put 3 into integrity, I think. And so I get 2 2s. I think sagacity. What is sagacity? Understand academic and historical teachings, occultism, and medicine. That's actually pretty good to have. I will take 2 in that. Or sorry, 3 in that, because I do have... Oh no, I have to... It has to be 2. So I take 2, 2. And then I can take 2 in 1 more, so I'll take 2 in athletics. And then I have 1 dot left. Embassy, I'm guessing, is navigating social structures, so I'll take 1 in that. Okay, so we've got that down. Now we can do charms, which means we can choose Ox Body or Excellency. So let's see. Ox Body. Ox Body is on page here. The Exalted increases her soak by 1. She also gains an additional -1 health level. The Straw Maiden Janus gains Ox Body. So they're definitely different. Oh, Abyssal and Solar. The Exalted gains their choice of an additional 0 or 2 -1 health levels. Okay, so my health levels, if I look here, I get... So I can have an additional bruised or have 2 additional injured health levels, which means I'm more robust at taking hits. So my base increases by 1, and my base soak increases by 1. So if I go here, where's soak? I'm going to just put +1 for the moment, and I will, for my bruised... I'm going to give myself I get one additional -1 health level, so I get one additional injury, and because I'm in a solar exalt, I'm going to take an additional 1 bruised. What would excellence be? Excellence. Was it excellence or excellency? What was this one? Oh, I might have passed it. Excellency. Ability excellency. When purchasing this charm, choose an ability, spend 1 mode. This applies on step 1 during combat. Add dice equal to the ability's chosen rating to any applicable roll involving the chosen ability. You may add close combat dice to close combat attacks or craft dice to craft rolls to construct an artifact, but you may not use stealth dice to add to a close combat attack or range combat attack to add dice to an or range combat to add dice to a navigation. You may buy this charm for multiple abilities, but must choose an ability each new time. So it seems like it doubles up on your ability score. So like you double the number. So if I were to do close combat, instead of rolling 5 dice, I would roll 10 dice plus whatever, I guess, finesse or power, depending on which one I'm using. Force, rather. Okay. I still like the being a little bit more tough. So I'm going to stick with that for the moment. Going back to character creation process. So we get one of those, and then we get 4 charms. Spell, evocations, and martial charms count as 1 charm each. Are these just some like references to a few of these? So we've got merits here for like allies, artifact, backing, command, contact, familiar, followers, Hearthstone, influence, and resources. But no charms listed here. So let's go to the charms page. Now this is where your majority of your time is going to be. If I remember correctly, there are usually a crap ton of charms listed here. Choosing your charm. Selecting which charms a character should start with is perhaps the most daunting decision a player faces when building their Exalt. This section will help players new to the game decide how to get started or give experienced players a template to build from. These templates can also be used to make characters quickly for off-the-cuff and one-shot games. The charms listed in this section are also are all found in Chapter 6, beginning on page 165. So, excuse me. If I were to go with a stalwart defender, additional ability, a physique 3 or higher. I don't know what that means. Additional ability. Maybe it increases your ability score in some way. So the universal charms you have here. The Ox Body Technique and Bulwark Stance, Iron Kettle Body, Loyal Guardian Approach, or Portentous Warding Defense, or Screaming Arrow Stance. So if we look at it like this, it is 3. It is 1, 2, and then 3. So you take Bulwark Stance and Iron Kettle Body and Loyal Guardian Approach, and then interesting. So I think it's like giving you some options to choose from in there. Okay. Some cool art here. I did want I did see something about a trickster. So if I want to be a trickster character type, you want to have a stealth or awareness at 4 or 5. My character's stealth is at 3, but my awareness is at 4, so I'm good at that. So I guess this might be a suggestion of additional ability. Presence should be 3 or higher. So my presence is 3. So if I wanted to be an unseen agent, like a spy, I could do that. If I wanted to be a Prince of Thieves, or a Master Assassin. I did do an assassin game last Friday. That one was fun. This is the first time I've done, was it 2 streams in a week? Technically a week, even though this is a new week. This is going to be my last beginner's guide for a little bit ontil some of the Trinity Continuum or They Came From or any of the other stuff comes out. Once they have their final release, I will be doing beginner's guides on new stuff. From now on, though, I'm going to do some one-on-one games with people new to Trinity Continuum. Anyway, sorry I blathered on about that. I will go on to... I'm going to choose Unseen Agent. Unseen Agent is definitely my character. Presence 3 or higher. I have a presence of 3. Universal Charms. Presence or Stealth Excellency. I will take... I feel like Stealth Excellency is a good one. Threat... Alright, is my stealth 3? My stealth is 3, so I'm going to take the Stealth Excellency 3. This will be my... Are these gifts or charms? These are charms, right? Charms. Hello, everyone. I see a bunch of people just showed up. So I get Stealth Excellency. I'm going to take Dread's Tiger's Symmetry, I think. Oh, this doesn't give me an extra suggestion for being a Solar Exalt. So maybe shouldn't be a Solar Exalt if I want to go through these? I could be a Master Assassin with a instead. So I take the Ox body technique, which I already grabbed. Yeah, so Ox body technique. A dropped amongst the ocean. And I'm going to look these up just to see what they are all about. Excellent Strike, Double Distance Technique, or Perfect Shadow Stillness. Excellent Strike seems like a pretty good one. And Perfect Shadow Stillness seems pretty good. And then I will take, for my Knight Solar, I shall take Shroud of the Knight's Law. If I remember, so it said here that we had four of these that we get. I'm excited to get to try these out. Okay, so we've got these five abilities chosen. So if I go back to character process, you get 4 other charms. So we've got Ox Body as our first one. We already know what Ox Body does. We'll check out what a drop amongst the ocean is. Drop amongst the ocean, Stealth 3. Commit 1 mote. So long as the mote remains committed and the Exalt remains within or close to a large group of people, she becomes functionally invisible. Other people see her, but pass her off as simply a face in the crowd. Okay, so this basically allows me to be pretty stealthy in there. That's a good one. She always awareness charms and similar powers may allow others to find the Exalt, as will violent or disruptive actions, but she always receives a chance to resist their roll with an attribute plus stealth. Okay, so that one's good. Excellent Strike. Page 190. 1. Excellent Strike. Spend 1 mote on step 3, double the extra successes after applying defense, but before any bonuses are applied. Additionally, ignore penalties hindering a single close combat attack, excluding self-imposed penalties or penalties that cannot be removed. Any penalties ignored by this charm... Add any penalties ignored by this charm as a bonus to the attack instead. So that's a really good one for a Solar Exalt. So spend 1 mote on step 3. What is step 3? I go basically, I'm double checking the fighting mechanic. So if I go here to combat, there are steps, correct? Flowchart of combat. Determine the attack pool and dice. Form an attack pool using the attribute plus combat ability and apply any bonuses or penalties. Roll the dice and apply any success-based bonus or penalties to the result. If a miscellaneous action is rolled, roll it now. And then you can apply opponent's defense. Just double checking here. So... okay, so you get double the extra successes, which means you do more damage. And you also get double the dice, so that's just beating on someone who's already down. It's really good. Perfect Shadow Stillness. You get double 9s on all stealth rolls to remain undetected. If you didn't move on your last turn, you get 8s instead. Oh, that's good. So these are all pretty much abilities I would have chosen before. So this is Shroud of Knight's Law. Definitely these are all ones I would have picked had I been like selecting, if I had been going through this looking for them. There are probably some better ones mixed in here. I'm not one to assume that Onyx Path doesn't have a few false, like tempting dead ends for some abilities. That's something that a lot of games do to make you feel better about picking the ones that are really good. So, Shroud of Knight's Law, commit 1 mote for the scene. The only people capable of noticing the Solar's actions are those directly affected by them. This does not guarantee their notice. The Solar may still attempt an action to conceal himself from them. And then Vanishing from the Mind's Eye is an upgrade Essence 3. So once you get to Essence 3, this is an extra ability. The Solar may activate this charm retroactively by spending 2 motes. He erases his presence from the applicable witness's memories of events. That's always the trouble with these types of abilities, is you're like, I want to not be seen by the people I'm going up to, and then it's like, oh, I forgot to activate this ability, and now I'm right next to them. Damn, I guess I can't use it. But this bypasses that flaw, which is awesome. We're already 30 minutes in. I've already created half of my character right here. I'm not putting in the extra mote costs and descriptions because I don't need them right now. I do like that this is a lot easier to manage. Having done this before with other Exalted versions, I'm very happy that I am currently done with the charms list. We do have the merits to select from. And if double checking here, I'm assuming the merits are only these merits. Um, it could be that these merits are. It could be that these merits are just for show. I just want to double check here. Like, it could be that it's like the other thing before where it's like, okay, here are the ones that we suggest you to start with, but there are other ones. So that's merits. 101 is where the merits start. Step 5 merits. You don't need a merit for that. Essence has a pretty short merit list. That's because Exalted are awesome all by themselves. What you want your character to have. Want your character to have great stamina? Take Fortitude 4 and purchase Physique Charms. Want them to speak 1,000 languages? That's the embassy skill. Want them to be a beastman or extraordinarily tall? You don't need a merit for that. Okay. So we could take allies. Do we just start with however many merits we want? The table as a group chooses which of the following setups best suits their campaign. 1 primary, 1 secondary, 1 tertiary. Merits are primary, secondary, and tertiary. How this applies to each individual merit is explained within each entry. Some merits, such as familiar, cannot be primary, so you cannot choose those even if your character, beloved dire cat, is the most important person in their life. Okay. So let's do 1 primary, 1 secondary, 1 tertiary. So I could have an ally who is an exalted if I take it as my primary, but if I just take it as a tertiary, I have a mortal friend. And if I have a secondary, it's just a young exalted or a first circle demon. There's some artifacts here, some contacts, command. I can command a militant group. My character's not really like that. I think I might get into this and be like, you're essentially most of these probably don't matter to my character. Like, I want a character who's a vagabond, so they would not have a lot of money. But if I want to have resources as tertiary, they can afford a modest lifestyle. Few servants, but no extraordinary wealth. They can gain audiences with anyone in their line of business by leveraging their economic status. That doesn't sound like my character at all. What about influence? Your character is a person of renown. They might be nobility, a celebrated war hero, or a venerated philosopher. Sway people as normal, but characters' words carry much farther. The storyteller remains the final arbiter of how affected people react. For example, your character makes a speech denouncing the evils of inherited nobility. That may not sway the queen to relinquish power, but it does sow the seeds of rebellion amongst her people. Okay, so I like that. I like this as a primary, so I'll take influence. I like having a vagabond who's slightly influential. So if I go to where my merits are, they're right here. So I'll say influence. I think it's influential, maybe. And then this would be my primary. Oh no, it's just influence. What's the secondary one? I don't want to have followers. What's the Hearthstone? Ley lines rich with you design your domain or manse and choose a corresponding Hearthstone when you pick this merit. You find a list of standard and greater Hearthstones on page 352. Gem omens, stuff like that. This doesn't seem like it's much my character either. I just like having a vagabond type character who's like kind of fun to be around. Doesn't really want to be too crazy. Okay, I can have a hedgehog as a tertiary. Theo, Theo, you can become my little tertiary guy. Oh, hello everyone from Beggar Street. Thank you for the raid of six people. I'm doing Exalted. I am doing the beginner's guide for Exalted Essence, which is a more streamlined version of Exalted to help people better understand the system. It's only been 30 minutes, and I'm already like 90% done with this character. I'm on step 5 of like step 5 of 7. I'm almost done. Okay, so I'm gonna take the familiar at tertiary so that I have Theo, my hedgehog. I actually do own a hedgehog. His name is Theo. You can see him on my channel. Tertiary, and then we've got the contacts. I'll take contacts. Oh no, I can't. Okay, contacts. While secondary contacts are a significant number of useful connections across a direction. I don't know what direction means in this case, but I'm gonna have to find that out. Okay, so contacts too. So if I just want to look up direction. And I'm going to make sure it's case sensitive because it seems like direction is a case sensitive thing. Your goal is to know the largest points of interest in each direction and realm. Across the 8 directions. Oh, that probably tells us 8 directions of creation. From there, 1,000 kingdoms, tribes, city-states exist across creation, but none is so vast or powerful as the realm. It spans the length and breadth of the massive Blessed Island, a land of unmatched bounty and security. From there, its reach extends throughout the 8 directions of creation, through satrapies and vassal states that pay tribute to the realm for the privilege of their continued existence. Okay, so we get a bit of that. So basically the 8 direction is the 8 realms that exist. I hope this gets. I hope people see this and understand how easy it is to get into Exalted with this. I know some people might not be fans of how it seems like it's a little bit stripped down, but honestly, to me, this isn't that stripped down. So we have Exalted Essence uses 7 virtues: ambition, compassion, courage, discipline, justice, loyalty, and wonder. Choose one to be character's major virtue and the other one to be a minor one. I'm going to have loyalty as my main one and compassion as my secondary one. That seems to be fine. So loyalty. Honestly, people could be more compassionate in the world. Know who you're better, how to be better to your fellow man. That is what compassion is to me. If you choose ambition, you must choose a specific thing that drives your character, such as ambition drive the guild from the Nexus, or ambition rule over the desert to the south. If you choose loyalty, choose a leader or institution to which you are loyal, such as... Oh. Okay. My loyalty is to my friends. I want it to be friends. If... Yeah. Intimacies. Okay. Virtues and intimacies. Intimacy is a belief or relationship essential to your character. You choose one major and two minor intimacies. There's no pre-written list. I never kill. Use an I sentence to check if a belief works for your character. I never kill. Does that sound like something they'd say or think? If so, that qualifies as a major intimacy. If you want to be a minor intimacy, I try not to kill is better. Relationships are about attachment, nor which needn't be to a person. My sister, rivalry, nexus, protective, and the mask of winter's burning hatred are all relationships. A character's intimacy of the mask of winter's burning hatred might be attached to her justice virtue, while my sister, rivalry, may be attached to her courage virtue. Make sure your storyteller can work with the intimacies you've chosen. Nexus protective isn't very interesting if Nexus never comes under threat, nor is the Mask of Winters if the campaign is miles away from the Death Lord. Okay. On the other hand, an intimacy might inspire your character, prompting them to rewrite a recurring villain as your character's sister. Makes sense. If at this point you're struggling to choose 3 intimacies, don't worry, you can leave any number of them undefined. Okay, I am going to choose intimacy, sister, rival. I am going to choose distrusting of, let's say distrusting of dragon-blooded. And then last one, we'll say, I would say another distrusting, but I think I'll leave that blank, and I'll just say blank here, so I can add one later. The Great Curse. All Exalted are touched by an ancient curse. The Great Curse drives them to take their virtues and intimacies too far. Compassion for the disenfranchised prompts them to kill every authoritarian figure in a village. That sounds good. I don't see what the problem would be with that. Discipline turns their heart to uncaring stone. There's, on page 86, there are facets of the Great Curse. You get to choose one of the manifestations when it triggers. You may want to review and pick one you think is most interesting. You do not have to stick to this one for the entire game, and may choose a different manifestation each time a curse triggers. So let's look at the page 87. Rules, incitements. So it can be incited from acts against a major intimacy or acts against their major virtue. Let's scroll down to solar, because my character is solar. There are a lot of these. When a solar's passions become inflamed, their principles are challenged, and they reach emotional extremes. The curse threatens to rise up and cast a great and destructive shadow across their actions. All solar exalts possess the additional condition for inciting great curse. If you act against their minor virtue. Okay. Players should determine what their individual characters treat as an additional inciting condition, either by choosing one from the following lists or working with the storyteller to make one. Serious insults or disparagements. The solar engages in deceitful or treacherous behavior or circumstances, and companions attempt to push the solar towards such acts. Okay, so these are types of things. I'll probably have one that's like companions overindulge in vice and personal gratification. No, that doesn't sound like this character. The solar's mistakes present themselves in an unavoidable fashion. That one sounds good. Now we have all-consuming grief. The solar obsesses over death and injury to their companions, themselves, and all of creation. They breathe only to mourn and seeking solitude away from others and ignoring the outside world when they are forced to endure company. All-consuming grief ends prematurely if the solar egg is attacked or if someone they have a major intimacy towards is seriously injured or incapacitated. Ooh. Rage. Seething genius. The solar stops at nothing to work on their long-term projects and aspiration. They abandon immediate concerns, joint efforts, in favor of individual interests and bespoke masterpieces. Okay. That one's possible. What about Imperfection Scourge? For a session, the Solar becomes convinced their previous works are fatally flawed. Their treaties will lead to war, their magic workings. The Solar works ceaselessly to undo their past efforts, seeking to destroy what they can and seal away things too durable to break. Imperfection's Scourge ends if the Solar's disassembling leads to provably worse results or other suffering. Oh no! Contempt of the Virtuous. The Solar embodies moral certitude and woe to anyone who falls short of their expectations. Admonish and correct those who overindulge, lie, or otherwise fall short of moral expectations. You know what? Contempt of the Virtuous does sound fine for the moment. Grief just sounds too close to home. I think that might be it. Oh. Did I accidentally... Oh, I didn't. Okay. I accidentally pulled out one of the PDF files. Exalted. Character creation. Why am I not able to search for this word right now? Okay, so we did that. We now have the finishing touches. We started Essence 1, and we have 5 modes. So, 2, 3, 5. I do not know why. That might be a problem with the PDF. I might have to talk to someone about that. I should be able to have these selected without them popping up. Let's just put them down here for the moment. So I have 5 modes selected. Your health starts with 7 levels, 2 zeros, 2 negative ones, and 2 twos, and an incapacitated. Okay, so 2 bruised, 2 injured. Two critical, and an incapacitated. So those are the ones I have. Okay. Derive your defense is parry, calculated by attribute plus close combat divided by 2, or evasion calculated by attribute plus athletics divided by 2, whichever's higher. So I guess I could do like fortitude and either evasion or close combat. So I don't have evasion. I have close combat. So let's do 8 divided by 2 is my defense. So that would be 4. And then my soak, without armor, soak is 1, plus another 1 if your physique is 3 or higher. If you're wearing armor, add its soak value. Okay, so my physique is not higher than that, so I only get... I will only get 2, so... I'm not wearing any armor because I am crazy. You start with hardness of 2, plus any bonuses from armor. I'm not wearing armor, so just hardness 2. The character's resolve is 2. If she has 1 dot of integrity, this increases to 3, and if her integrity is 3 or higher, it starts at 4. I start at 4 resolve. Nice. 4 resolve. Spark of life. So my character is now done at this point. Now, this gets me questioning a bunch of the stuff here. So I'm going to be looking up some of these to see. Oh, my exalted advantages go here. Okay. And my triggers go here too. Okay. So I can put those there once I get there. I have none of that. What about Anima? Where is Anima involved? So at this point, the character creation is done, but I have no idea what Anima is. Anima is the display of power from the divine essence. So if I go to my solar exalt character here, Anima. When active, the solar's anima blazes with this golden light. Bright sun. I become a beacon. Okay, so my anima is just like I am a beacon. Effects. Supernal warrior passive. Oh, it's from different. It's so Nightcast solar exalts. No one special. The Nightcast can dampen her anima, preventing others from seeing it until she wants to be noticed. She cannot suppress her iconic anima. She gains a 3-dot bonus to any roll to pretend to be someone else she is not. So I will take that. Copy and paste that. Sometimes there's stuff you just miss when you do character creation. Hard to tell. Cloak of Shadows. The Nightcast wraps her anima around her like a cloak and moves about unseen. Add her essence and automatic successes to stealth and athletics rolls. Include build power actions. Anyone who does not notice her sees only a flickering shadow visage. It's impossible to discern her identity. And then we've got the iconic is Vanishing Foe. Spend 1 anima. After resolving a successful attack, the Nightcast may move instantly to any location in the scene, gain her essence and power. Out of combat, she becomes an immaterial thing and can move through solid material as long as she ends her movement in an open space. All good things. So how much anima do you start with? I didn't see that in character creation. Oh, okay. Incapacitated. When dramatically appropriate, you may offer characters the choice to accept permanent character death. They can be stabilized. All characters begin the fight with 2 anima and 3 power. Is this something that is listed here somewhere? Okay, I think it seems like you start with 2 anima and 3 power. I'm just gonna go based off of that. So 2 anima and 3 power. What about will? Maybe if I go to the glossary, it says starting stuff, the index. Anima. Anima. Anima effects. Anima is page 47. As a character uses motes, she gains anima. Anima effects are broken into the passive. Active anima requires the character to have built up 3 anima before its turns on. Oh, okay, so anima doesn't really have a start. It doesn't seem like it's actually starts. It builds up as you go, so maybe will is similar in this regard. And thank you all for joining. We're going to be wrapping up very shortly, but if you'd like to watch me play Trinity Continuum Assassins, I'm going to be starting that on September 12th, a Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST. More beginner guides will be coming out sometime in the future, though currently I don't have any plan for the moment, but you'll find them in the schedule list that Travis and the other streamers here will be putting out. And of course, I will be advertising it on my YouTube channel at The Awkward GM, and I will just post that into the Twitch chat right now. Thank you so much for watching this video, by the way, and me going through all of these rules, trying to figure out what I'm using them for. So let's look at 229. That seems to be where will is, and it could be that 229 or 299 is the sorcery. That's it. So will is used for sorcery. Okay. Raw force of will. Character rolls. On a success, you add a point of will along with extra successes to your willpower pool. A will pool. Okay. So you build these just like you build Anima and Power. So that seems to be about it. And I did make an Exalted character in 1 hour. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to put this over to... I'm going to put you guys over to the network pre-roll that we have going. And maybe we'll raid someone... I'll try and look. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. Transition.